Yo, what's up guys, it's JSGC here and we are here for another Manchester City video. This time I'm going to be covering the latest news. I apologise I've not done this in a couple of weeks, but with loads of transfer videos up last week, getting towards deadline day, I've not had a chance to do this video, so I'm going to do that today. So we're going to be backtracking a couple of weeks. I'm going to be taking you back. First up, we're going to run in chronological order, so we're going to be running from the date that's happened furthest away to bringing you up to date with everything Manchester City now. So we're going to start off first by talking about that Carabao Cup second leg semi-final at the Pirelli Stadium. Manchester City beat Burton Albion 1-0. Sergio Aguero scored a first half winner to send Manchester City to Wembley with a 10-0 aggregate win. Absolutely brilliant. In the other leg, which was Chelsea versus Spurs, if you remember, it was 1-0 Spurs at Wembley, so they went to Stamford Bridge, and Chelsea beat Spurs 2-1, which meant they drew 2-2 on aggregate, and instead of playing extra time, it went straight to penalties, to which Chelsea beat Spurs 4-2 on penalties, which means now on Sunday, February 24th at 4:30 PM GMT, Manchester City will go up in the West End at Wembley Stadium against Chelsea. Ticket details have already been announced. They're on Manchester City's website. I'm not too sure if it's going to go off season ticket sale, so if you're a season ticket holder, make sure you go and grab yourself a ticket. If not, I imagine it'll probably sell out on membership sale, so anyone that's a member, just keep your eyes peeled. I think they're still at the Cup Scheme as of now, and I think at some point this week you've got season ticket sale going on sale, so keep your eyes peeled for that if you're wanting to go to the Carabao Cup Final at Wembley Stadium down in London. Next up, we're going to be moving on, and there's been an article released stating the richest football teams in the world. Manchester City last year were 5th. And this year, we've remained 5th in the world again. Real Madrid have claimed top spot. Manchester United were top last year. They have dropped down to 3rd. I'm not too sure what that all means. I think it's just how much money the clubs are generating, which shows that Manchester City is stabilising and being a rich club with themselves, obviously making healthy profits, and obviously the club heading in the right direction with finances, other than this thingy football leagues thing that's going on, but we've not got any updates on that, I don't think, in this video as of yet. Now we're going to move on and we're going to talk about some transfers, and first up we're going to talk about Luke Bolton. He was in Manchester City's squad against Burton Albion and soon after went on loan for the rest of the season to join Wycombe Wanderers, so good luck, Luke, on your move there. Next up, we're going to be talking about TV fixtures. The TV fixtures have been announced for March, so anyone that's heading to any away days with Manchester City and you've not paid any attention yet, make sure you pay attention now. Manchester City's match against Watford at home is now Saturday, March 9th, so if you've already got tickets for that game, it's March 9th, still Saturday, live on BT Sport with a kick-off of 5:30 PM GMT. Next up, the week after, the Manchester Derby on the 16th. That's been moved forward to a 12:30 kick-off still on the 16th of March. However, that match will be postponed if either Manchester City or Manchester United reach the FA Cup quarter-final, both of whom are still both in the Cup in the 5th round, so there's more than likeliness that game will probably be postponed and moved. I don't know when, but when it does get moved, or if, I imagine it's probably going to be when it gets moved, I will let you know. And last but not least, the last match in March on March 30th has been moved. That was a away match against Fulham. That's now been moved to an earlier kick-off of 12:30 PM. Nice of Sky to think of everyone now. All the Blues have got to wake up extra early to go to that early kick-off down in London. But hey, since when did they care about fans? But, you know, if you've got a long train booked for that day, you've got a nice little afternoon session in London. So, you know, always an upside. Next up, Manchester City were in FA Cup action. We're through to the 5th round. We beat Burnley 5-0 at the Etihad Stadium. A Kevin De Bruyne masterclass ensured that our hats were in the draw for that 5th round. And speaking of that 5th round draw, it has been drawn and Manchester City will be away against either Middlesbrough or Newport. That finished 1-1 at the Riverside Stadium, so Middlesbrough have now got to head away to Newport County. A difficult game which is going to be played tomorrow. That is live on BT Sports, so anyone wanted to scout our opponents can. You also got Liverpool playing tonight on Sky Sports. On BT Sports tomorrow you've got the FA Cup replay to determine who Manchester City will play, and the winner of that, Manchester City, will end up playing on Saturday, 16th of February. That's been announced as a 5:30 PM kickoff, which will also be broadcast live on BT Sport over in the United Kingdom. Next up, the Everton match has been moved. This was scheduled, I think, to be on BT Sport, but is now no longer on television in the UK. So if you want to keep up to date, then keep up to date via Twitter or Manchester City's live score update. or stream. But that match has now been moved. It's now going to kick off at 7:45 GMT, 7:45 PM GMT, obviously, on February 6th on Wednesday. That is this Wednesday, our game in hand against Everton. That's been moved because we're in the Carabao Cup Final, so we won't be playing a game in a few weeks' time, as Liverpool will be facing Manchester United that weekend. We'll have already played our game, so we'll be looking to one up and get 3 points. Apparently Everton, Manchester City and Liverpool all unhappy. I imagine if Man City win that game, we won't be very unhappy afterwards, because obviously we've gained 3 points. It just puts a little bit more pressure onto Liverpool regardless of their result tonight. Next up, Daily Mail's reported that former Manchester City favourite Micah Richards, remember Micah Richards, homegrown player, decent player, he's set to retire at the age of 30 from professional football due to long-term knee injuries, which is such unfortunate news to hear, and it is sad to see. But best of luck to Micah Richards in whatever he decides to do in the rest of his career. Has he earned enough money to be able to retire? He's going to have to take up finding some kind of job in football. It'll be interesting to see. Is he going to go into coaching, get his coaching badges? Is he going to try and go into management? It'll be interesting to see. But yeah, he's set to retire. I don't remember his FA Cup goal against Aston Villa that time. Beautiful, beautiful. But next up, Manchester City were in Premier League action at the end of January, went up against Newcastle United, an away match performance where it saw us lose 2-1, saw us hand an advantage to Liverpool, and it's the first time we've lost to Newcastle in 22 games, and the first loss we've had to them since 2005. A disappointing night all round. However, just 24 hours later, Liverpool were in action. They also blew a 1-0 lead as they drew 1-1 with Leicester. They've managed to extend the gap to 5 points at the time, but it still saw them drop points for the first time against a team outside of the top 6. They saw a dodgy result against Crystal Palace just come out on top. They've not played too well at Anfield again against Leicester, and they've ended up getting the comeuppance there and ended up dropping points. Manchester City, obviously a nice little pick-me-up as we headed into the weekend with Arsenal, which we'll get onto in a moment, as it saw us, also saw Spurs go just 2 points behind us too, who were playing first this weekend and ended up winning. They were over us momentarily until the Arsenal game from yesterday. Now, in terms of that Newcastle game, I wasn't actually at the game, but there was a lot of reports from fans that were there that were extremely unhappy. They were extremely unhappy because, not because the team had lost, but the team and Pep just decided to walk down the tunnel, not go and show their gratitude and appreciation to the fans that had followed Manchester City that day. Now, Manchester City fans have travelled far and wide from here, there and everywhere through treacherous weather. It's very treacherous crossing the Pennines over into Yorkshire and heading up towards Newcastle. There was a lot of snow on the ground. It was very cold, very chilly, very icy, minus temperatures. It took a lot of effort in the working week as well for Manchester City fans to head up there and then not to be thanked by the club, from the players who everyone appreciates and all their hard work, and for them not to show their appreciation to Manchester City's fans' hard work to get into the stadium and following Manchester City. Quite frankly, I found it absolutely disgusting, and I'm hoping that Manchester City, if you are watching anyone from Manchester City, to have a word with Pep and the boys and to show their appreciation, win, draw or lose, because at the end of the day, we're football fans are what makes the club, and we all love Manchester City, and we want to be able to see on the pitch the love back. And against Newcastle away, just because you'd lost doesn't mean you can't show the fans love and appreciation. It isn't hard to walk over to your away fans, applaud them and thank them for coming. It doesn't take a lot of time, and quite frankly not good enough, so I'm hoping that will be addressed. Win, draw or lose, it doesn't matter if you picked up a bad result or not. Show your appreciation to the fans that have come. Moving on from that negative note, we're going to go on to the transfers. Rabbi Matondo, the Manchester City youngster, he's left to join Schalke on transfer deadline day. £11 million. City's got a buyback clause in there, which I believe is around £30 million. He also made his Schalke debut, coming on as a 74th, 75th minute substitute for Schalke. Hardly touched the ball apparently, but first senior appearance. He's obviously going to grow over the coming season, and then into next season, the season after, I'm sure he'll be able to find his feet and be able to prove that he is a good quality player. And speaking of young players and transfer deadline day, so Manchester City complete the signing of Ante Palaversa from Hajduk Split. He's now gone back to Hajduk Split and joined them on loan now until the summer of 2020, where City have an option. I imagine they could probably reassess it this summer, and also can come back and recall him next January, as far as my understanding goes. And last but not least, on deadline day with transfers, we saw Denis Suarez join Arsenal on loan, and we saw Denis Suarez make his debut for Arsenal, coming on as a substitute in the second half against us. So yeah, there we go. It'll be interesting to see, but if Denis Suarez ends up joining Arsenal permanently, we get a cool £10 million, I think it is, from that deal by putting in a sell-on fee there. So good bit of transfer business there from Manchester City. Might not have brought anyone senior in, but our handling with the youngsters, absolutely impeccable in my opinion. Now next up, Ederson, it seemed like he picked up a little injury. If you remember that penalty just before Micah Richards took it against Newcastle to score the winner, the second goal, it looked like he was struggling with some kind of knee injury. It looked like Murich might have come on. Anyway, I've had some details around that injury. Apparently it's some kind of cut or gash on his leg, and apparently he's going to be risked for Manchester City. He played against Arsenal, didn't seem to have any problems, and he's also going to play, I imagine, against Everton and against Chelsea, both being given a couple of weeks off, because imagine Murich will be in goal for the FA Cup game, and he might even be in goal for the Carabao Cup game too. But Ederson will get a rest soon. He's got 2 more games to go on Wednesday and then next Sunday. Next up, Twitter action. Quite a long one this, I do apologise, but Kyle Walker, he's been sent out a tweet from the meme back from the World Cup 2018, remember, with Harry Maguire leaning over speaking to them young female fans. Anyway, he's made a tweet about that, mocking Liverpool for dropping points, saying that they thought they were going to be 7 points clear, but they're only 5. Anyway, he soon deleted that tweet. Pep didn't seem to have a problem for that. I'm just worried now that it's going to become a meme come May, when we have our answer as to who wins the Premier League, and it isn't us. We're going to be mocked severely with that from Kyle Walker, so I'm hoping it doesn't come to bite him back and Manchester City fans back on the bum come May and we do win the Premier League. And if so, he'll have wished he'd have kept that tweet up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What's your opinion on players using Twitter? Since some people not happy with it, so I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below with players like Walker and Mendy and that using social media. Do you agree? Do you think it's all fun and games, or do you think it's bad and they should stop tweeting and carry on and get on with their work and working hard? Obviously, Kyle Walker had a decent game against Arsenal, which was good to see. And speaking of Arsenal and Manchester City, Sergio Aguero scored a hat-trick to help Manchester City beat Arsenal 3-1. It sees us go back over Spurs, who won at the weekend against Newcastle at Wembley, and we're now just 2 points behind Liverpool, who play tonight away at West Ham, which isn't a gimme for them. They need to win, otherwise they're facing a situation where if they drop points tonight and City win against Everton, then momentarily at least we will be going top if we can make that happen. That's the dream, that's what we're aiming for. So make sure you check out the Liverpool game if you are interested. I think that's on Sky Sports tonight. You can check that out. That is up against West Ham away at the London City Stadium, and then Manchester City are in action, not on television, against Everton away. The match is sold out for their away fans. So like I said, you know, go and find a stream. There'll be loads of streams. It's streamed around the world from places like the United States, South Africa, and places like that. You'll be able to find English commentary on there, no problem. So make sure you check that out. So there we go. That's been the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, sorry it's been a long one, but I haven't covered the news in a couple of weeks because of deadline day and all the transfer videos coming out from last week. But we'll have this back on a weekly basis, so if you're interested, make sure you subscribe, press the red button and press the bell to put your push notifications on to be notified when I have uploaded. We're going to have many more football and Manchester City videos coming out throughout the rest of February, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. My social media links, Twitter and Instagram, in the description below. If you want to go and follow me on them, you can do, and I'll see you all again for the next video, which will be up tomorrow, that preview for the Everton game. Hopefully we'll have good news from that Liverpool match tonight, so make sure you stay tuned for that. So it's been JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.